The last real conversation you had with someone you loved. You didn't know it was the last one. You were probably half distracted. Maybe you were checking your phone or thinking about what you needed to do tomorrow, or just waiting for a pause so you could say your own thing. And then they were gone, and you spent months trying to remember exactly what they said. This is the quiet fact at the center of grief. You were not really there, not fully, and it is an unbearable thing to know about yourself, that the moment you would give anything to return to, you were somewhere else inside your head. You were present enough to get through it, but not present enough to keep it, and now it is gone, and you are left holding the outline of something you never quite touched. There is a word for what you do instead of listening. Psychologists sometimes call it rehearsal. The thing your mind is doing when someone is speaking and you are already preparing your response. You are not with them. You are with the version of this conversation that exists inside your head, the one you are conducting alone, the one where you already know what you want to say. You are managing the exchange rather than receiving it. And the cruel irony is that you do this most with the people you are closest to, because familiarity breeds a particular kind of deafness. You think you already know what they are going to say. You have filed them under a category. You have a working model of this person, and you consult the model instead of them. You stop being surprised by them, and in some small ordinary way, you stop actually seeing them. The philosopher Simone Weil wrote in the 1940s that attention is the rarest and purest form of generosity, not love as feeling, love as the act of setting yourself aside completely, making space for another person to exist fully in front of you. She meant that real attention costs you something. It requires the suspension of your own agenda, your own noise, your own need to be understood in return. And most of the time, you're not willing to pay that. Think about the last time someone was telling you something important to them, something they were working through, something tender. And notice where your mind went. Did you stay? Or did you begin quietly to compare it to your own experience? Did you start composing your reply? Did you feel the small impatience of someone waiting for their turn? That drift is so ordinary you barely notice it. But the person speaking notices. They can feel when they have lost you. They just rarely say so. And then someone leaves. Through death or distance, or the slow erosion of a relationship that simply ends. And suddenly, you are capable of a quality of attention you never offered them when they were there. You play back their voice in your head and you actually listen this time. You catch the things you missed. You hear the loneliness in a sentence you once thought was just small talk. You understand what they were asking you for. And you understand, too, that you didn't give it. This is one of grief's most specific tortures. Not just the missing, but the retrospective attention. The way loss makes you suddenly fluent in a language you were too lazy to learn while the lesson was still available. You become, in absence, the listener you should have been in presence. You notice everything. The particular rhythm of their laugh, the way they held their coffee cup, the thing they always said when they were nervous. You notice it all, and none of it is any use to you now. But here is the thing that is harder to sit with. It is not only grief that could have taught you this. The information was always available. Every conversation you have ever had with someone you love has been happening for the last time. You just didn't know which one it was. The last time they called you just to talk. The last time you sat in the same room without having to arrange it. The last time it was easy. You lived through all of those last times without knowing. The Buddhist teacher Shunryu Suzuki said something that sounds simple and is not. In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, In the expert's mind, there are few. You have become an expert on the people you love. You have closed down your curiosity about them. You meet them already knowing who they are, and so you cannot discover who they are becoming. You see the person from 2 years ago, 5 years ago. You are not meeting them. You are confirming a memory. There is a version of love that is actually a form of archiving. You take someone in, you build a model of them, and then you relate to the model rather than the person. It is efficient. It is comfortable. It spares you the disorientation of realizing that the person you love is always, quietly, becoming someone slightly different. But it is also a kind of abandonment. You have stopped following them. You are in love with who they were. And this is what the additional direction of this feeling is really about. Not grief as an event, but grief as a structure that is already built into your ordinary days. You are not fully present with the people you love. You are, in a way, practicing for the moment they are gone. Every half-heard sentence, every nodded response, every conversation you were physically in but mentally somewhere else. These are the rehearsals. You are training yourself, without meaning to live without them. The question is not whether you can go back. You cannot. The question is whether you can do something strange and difficult and slightly countercultural, which is to treat the people in front of you as though they are already rare, not to be morbid, not to perform intensity at them, but to actually let them land, to hear what they are saying rather than what you expect them to say, to be, for a moment, a beginner again, genuinely uncertain who this person is today. You will not manage it all the time. You will drift. You will rehearse your reply. You will check your phone. You will be tired, and they will be mid-sentence, and you will nod without really hearing them, because you are human, and this is ordinary, and the full presence of another person is genuinely exhausting to maintain. But maybe you can do it a little more. Maybe you can catch yourself drifting and come back. That return, that small act of coming back, is not nothing, because the version of you that knows it is the last conversation. That version listens. That version asks the follow-up question. That version notices the small detail, sits with the silence, doesn't rush toward the next thing. That version of you exists. You have accessed it in grief after the fact. The only question is whether you can bring it forward, whether you can offer it to people while they are still here, while there is still time, while you are still in the part of the story where it makes a difference.